What's up, guys? You ever wake up in the morning and just screw up everything? Well, that's my morning. That's for sure. My car is really dirty. Jesus. This gets, and my car wasn't even locked. Gets even better and better. Scratch my door. Okay, so here's the deal. Danielle's mad at me because I slept in. I know. Today was my only really day I could sleep in. I know Khloe had foot pictures today, which actually I'm going to now because they just started. So, but she's mad at me because I slept in. So it should be an interesting day. Hold on, let me get going. So, going to go meet up with them. Maybe she'll be in a better mood. Let's keep her fingers crossed. Other thing went wrong today. You guys are probably, everyone has this problem. Go grab a pair of socks, and if they're not mated, you can't find socks anywhere, right? Leave a comment downstairs below if the same thing happens to you. I almost guarantee it does. Like the sock monster comes and steals them or something. Really, I mean, what happens to the socks? It's impossible. There has to be a sock monster somewhere because everybody loses them. I don't understand it at all. So I gotta go buy some socks because I couldn't find any. I was gonna put my shoes on. I've got sandals on, but the good thing is it's nice out today. It feels great actually. And I grabbed my shirt that I think I wore yesterday. No, day before. So it gets even better. I swear. At least it doesn't stink. It's good. I need sleep is what I need. Then maybe everything can get better. November should be fun. Adam's sleeping every day. No, can't do that because Danielle goes back to work at the end of the month. So, oh, we're gonna miss her. She won't wake up.
Look, I painted her toes last night.
Danielle painted her toes.
Didn't work out very well, but...
That's nice. Say hi to everybody. I already told them you're grumpy.
You are.
I'm not grumpy. You are. Because I slept.
Get up.
Because I slept in.
You know we had pictures today?
And I'm here before they got taken.
Yeah, because I let somebody else do before me.
Whatever.
Mom, can you stop?
Sorry.
That's fine. There's a lot of wood.
Did we get a new Christmas background?
Yes.
Yes. Was it Christmas tree or do you remember?
I think it's a tree on there.
Just look right behind me. Just look right behind me. Yes. Don't know if you noticed the guy with the big belly hanging out, but yes. These people over here are my new fans. And so is the lady behind me. Yes. No, not your belly. Just watch the video back and notice you can't see the man. So I'm going to do you guys a favor. I'm going to pull up next to him. See, this is what everyone was laughing at. And the people that were laughing, they're like, this is going in on the internet. Hold on. Here we go. See him? It looks bad around. It looks worse when you're standing outside, but he's just standing there with all this stuff hanging out. And she's riding the horse. That whole time I didn't even see her riding the horse. photos. That's good stuff. We're gonna go get something to eat. And guess what? Danielle was watching videos the other day, and she's like, ooh, Arby's looks good again. So I guess we're going to Arby's. Yeah. We're trying to get all of our fun out now, because our diets start next month, or actually in a couple weeks. Yay. Yay for diets. Although I gotta lose this neck. I've always had a big neck. It'd be weird not to have one, that's for sure. Okay, so we're on our way to get something to eat. Khloe just got her photos done, and I'll let Danielle tell you when we eat how that turned out. Let's just say she is not happy at all.
What?
How well did the photos turn out? Are you happy?
Am I?
No. Okay, so the lady that took the photos obviously hates her job and sucks at it because the photos turned out really bad. So we are not happy. It's a good thing that, in 2 weeks we go to another lady?
Yes.
Like a professional.
Yeah.
Like, we've never really had a problem with Owen Mills, but...
It's just that lady hates her job. Obviously.
Yeah, she's
like,
not
you
good.
have a kid that's sitting there all crunched up like this.
Yeah.
And you don't even pull the dress down?
And then she asks us, can she sit up? Yeah, she's 7 weeks old, so she's just gonna sit up by herself. That's what she asked us.
Forgot to, she can barely hold her head up.
Yeah. And then she takes a photo with her laying on the carpet, which I find really weird. And the camera's not even centered because you see the black floor.
Oh, and then, like, they had her laying down, and they don't even do the camera on top like they should. They took it, like, she's laying flat like this, and the camera's, like, here, so you're angled. That's real good pictures. Thumbs up for that.
She dropped the thumbs up, that's great. Okay, well, she didn't get a baked potato this time, she got chicken.
It's not that good.
Chicken. Chicken.
Since you say I eat like a bird anyways.
You do. Yeah, so it's a good thing that we used a free coupon. Look at this. You guys
But I
can't.
paid $12 for that coupon.
You can't see anything. You can't see it well, but her neck looked like it's broke. The lady didn't want to help, so it's a good thing we're going with someone else. So that should be an interesting photo shoot.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. We are waiting for a train to get off the tracks. We're doing a tour, but this train decided to stop right here. Here we go. It's moving, at least.
That's why he carries the haunted stick. When there's a problem, I just see him walking down here. He always disappeared up into the woods. He didn't believe the ghost stories. He did it because we paid him, basically. And didn't believe in it, but he walks into the woods one night, and he turns around and walks right back out, and right past the group. And at the time, we didn't drive all the way, we didn't go all the way through. So he walks past us, and when we get back to the bus, he's standing there. I'm like, what was that about? He said he walked into the woods, found himself a nice tree, started to do his thing, looked up to the left, and there was a man hanging from the tree. And that was enough for him. He never worked for us again. The guy we replaced him with used to carry this giant mag light. And I hated that thing because he'd shine it all over the place, and you know, that just drove me nuts. But we're telling this story and something happens. Now, in the 1930s, there was a caretaker at the cemetery called Mel Savage. Mel was a guy that everybody liked. Mel. He was a very popular man in the neighborhood, very friendly. Everybody thought he was a great guy. And every day, he and his guys had to come down here in the morning and chase the hobos out of the back of the cemetery. They camped all up and down here and all down to the river, and they chased them out of here, and that's what he was doing that morning. He walked into the cemetery in 1935. He was gone about 15 minutes, and they heard gunshots. They came out here, and somewhere along this road, we don't know exactly where, they found Mel in a pool of blood, dead from 2 gunshot wounds. Now, we used to tell the story in the cemetery. We had this nice overlook, and we had this great spot, but it happened out here somewhere. Now, Mel like I said, was a real popular guy, but nobody knew a lot about him. They started to do the investigation, and they found that he was engaged, for one thing, to a 14-year-old girl down in St. Louis. He was about 45. Yeah, he'd convinced her family, he was only 19, so it was fine. It was fine, her 14-year-old daughter. There was that. They also learned that Mel had developed really close relationships with a lot of his neighbors. Wives, actually, specifically. Mel was having numerous affairs with the married women in the neighborhood. He was plying them with expensive jewelry and gifts and things like that, and suddenly they had a whole neighborhood full of suspects. They thought, this has to be why he's dead now. They got into his apartment, started looking through his stuff, got under his bed and found a box, and inside this box were hundreds of gold-capped human teeth that they'd been pulling out of the corpses' mouths before they buried them out at the cemetery. Now, this made Mel look really bad, as did the girl that walks walks into the police station one afternoon, other business entirely, but she's talking to the cop and she looks down and there's this tray of jewelry behind the counter. She says, "What is this?" And she said, the cop said, "Well, that's evidence from another case." And she said, "But that's my mom's brooch." And the cop laughs because in his mind, Mel and Mom, were having a thing. The girl says, "We buried her with that 3 years ago." They'd been robbing the graves at Greenwood for years. And at that point, they stopped the investigation. And they didn't care what happened to Mel Savage. They just determined he was a scumbag, and that was that. And that's where it ended. Except it's not where it ended, because Mel's ghost has been seen by people he knew walking up and down this road and back into the cemetery for years. Since 1935, they've seen his ghost walk up and down this road. People would stop and offer him rides. Later on, when you could drive, you're driving through, they'd see this man walking along the road. They'd stop and offer him rides. He'd turn and look at him and disappear. People would see him out in the cemetery. He'd disappear. People encountered him for a long time. And again, like the guy with the rope, hanging from the tree, we didn't know whether to give this any credence or not until we're down here with the giant mag light. And I tell the story, and when I said it, it was just on cue every time. I'd say, "And Mel's ghost haunts this road," and he'd turn the light on. And he did it that night, and there's a guy standing about 40 feet away from us. And we all go, "Whoa, geez, there's this guy." I didn't think it was a ghost. Nobody else thought it was a ghost. He just stood there staring at us. Now, we had to go that way. We had no way. So what I said to him is, "You brought the stupid mag light. You have to go see what's going on." But I didn't want to send him alone. And sometimes we have guys on the tour that are like jackasses, okay? And they're usually like football players. The ones I like are the ones that are the football players that are trying to convince their girlfriends they're not scared. So all night long they're talking about what jerks we are and how stupid we are, because this stuff's all stupid. It's all stupid. Then you make a noise and they jump. That kind of guy. I had one of those guys that night. And I said to him, "What's your name?" And he said, "Bob," or whatever. And I said, "Bob, you are my sacrifice, because you get to go with it, because you're a big guy. That's your only fault. You die tonight because you're a big guy." And he went, "What?" And I said, "Go with him, because I don't want him walking down there by himself." So he did. They went. They kept that light on this guy the whole time. We thought he was a real guy. And still, no reaction from him at all. He's standing there. They're walking toward him. They get about 15 feet from him, and he's gone. He doesn't step out of the light. He doesn't beam up like Mr. Spock. He's just gone. And everybody gasped, but I'm standing there going, "Huh, how about that?" They came walking back and said, "He didn't walk out of the light. Because it lit up this thing like a downtown Christmas tree. It was terrible." And he said, "We don't know where he went." I said, "Yeah, I know where he went. And that was Mel Savage. Had to be Mel Savage." And everybody went, "Oh, cool." And I said, "Except we have to walk that way, so that's not that cool." Their idea was, "Well, call Sharon on the phone." I said, "I don't have my phone on me, and I don't know her number. She's at the other end of the line." Then their brilliant plan was, "Why don't you go get her? Why don't you come with me?" is what my idea was. And they were a little reluctant after that. But we have to. We're going to. Now, I'll tell you one other thing.